The leaders of Thailand and Cambodia have signed an expanded ceasefire agreement at a summit of Southeast Asian nations. It was formalized shortly after U.S. President Donald Trump arrived in Malaysia. He co-signed the deal, which he helped broker. In July, Trump threatened to block trade with Cambodia and Thailand unless they ceased border fighting. The U.S. president also struck trade deals with the two nations. Many other leaders at the Kuala Lumpur gathering are hoping Trump will lower the tariffs he imposed. Georg Matthes is DW's Asia-Pacific bureau chief and joins me now from Kuala Lumpur. Georg, all eyes on the expanded ceasefire signed between Thailand and Cambodia. Tell us what the two countries have agreed on.
There's a number of points that are in this joint declaration that I think shall be fairly easy to realize. The key point is the removal of heavy weapons. That is, if that is going to happen, that is what the foreign minister of Thailand here explained, is that's when the 18 still captured Cambodian prisoners are set to be released, or the process to release them will be initiated. So heavy weapons have to be removed. Secondly, demining activities, joint demining activities. And thirdly, they want to fight a cybercrime that in these remote parts of the common border region has been flourishing in recent years. All of this is supposed to be monitored by the observer group from the ASEAN nations, which I have met when I was there at the border. They will play quite a crucial part, that those words that have now been put into paper actually are realized on the ground.
Georg, you've mentioned that you were at that border. You spent some time in the affected communities. Tell us how important this truce agreement is for the people there.
I think there are two important aspects here. One is, and that's a very tricky and thorny issue, the exact line of the border. And there is no mentioning in this paper, and there is no resolution inside how that will be resolved. Thailand has moved the border to where they think it is accurate. This now includes a number of Cambodian houses. Some of them have been demolished. And this row is not resolved by the paper that has been signed. It's a stepping stone. The other thing is, and that is where the paper is extremely helpful, is the economic crisis that has been caused by this border row. You have to see that both countries have very tight connections. A lot of Cambodians go to Thailand for medical services. A lot of Cambodians work in Thailand as labor. In turn, Thailand sells a lot of products into Cambodia, and all of this has been halted. So this joint declaration is a clear step towards de-escalating this economic crisis that has been painful for both of them.
Again, U.S. President Donald Trump is also at this summit. How significant was his presence at the signing of the agreement?
Well, if you believe the American president, who was the first one to talk when the press conference when the ceremony of this signing procedure started, and he declared himself to be the key man who made this deal possible. And to some degree, some observers have said to me, there is some truth in this, because he connected progress in the peace talks, in the truce, and now in the signing of this paper to his tariffs, to economic questions, and thereby increase the pressure on both sides to agree on something. We asked the Thai foreign minister in a press conference what he made of Trump's role, and he said he played a prominent role. But then he also made clear that this deal, this joint declaration, is a pathway to peace. And that really means it is a stepping stone. There is still a long way to go for both sides to resolve all the tricky issues that are part of this age-old border row.
Mm-hmm. The other issue along the corridors there, of course, is also the issue of U.S. tariffs. ASEAN members there have been hit high by those tariffs. Do we anticipate those countries using the U.S. president's attendance at the summit to get concessions?
I would say absolutely that is what countries will be trying to do. Cambodia has announced that they will be signing a deal with the US. Malaysia is set to do the same thing. Thailand is signing a paper on rare minerals. So everybody is trying to approach the Americans and the direct contact with the American president here to create opt-outs, to create maybe sectorial agreements that one can hammer out, because those tariffs have hit Southeast Asian markets extremely hard. The key message that many have taken away already is that the American president announced that he is 100% behind Southeast Asian nations, and he wants a long and strong partnership with these countries. And that is an important message. Also, maybe against the backdrop that the United States may have realized that if you want to be strong in the backyard of China, where the influence of China is extremely strong, if you want to compete with that, you do have to show up and you do have to make agreements.
Okay, that's DW's Georg Matthes in Kuala Lumpur. Many thanks.
I spoke to Megan Ryan, a foreign policy analyst focusing on Southeast Asia, and asked her about the priorities of the summit.
Well, I think there are three main buckets for the summit: trade, regional cooperation, and stability. For ASEAN countries, this is an opportunity to strengthen internal trade linkages and economic integration with important regional blocs outside the US and China, such as the Gulf states, the BRICS countries, and other countries in the global south. So it's also an opportunity to center ASEAN countries on the global stage and assert their autonomy and centrality and their geopolitical interests. And then also in terms of political stability, ASEAN countries would like to finalize a code of conduct on the South China Sea in order to maintain a rules-based order and to provide a platform for the signing of the peace agreement between Thailand and Cambodia over the recent border dispute.
Yeah, just a little bit on that. How important is this peace accord that is due to be signed?
Yes, I mean, it's a very important peace accord. I think, there was a ceasefire that happened in July, mediated by Malaysia, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, and Trump, US President Trump played a role in sort of facilitating this agreement, but I still think that there's much to be worked out and sort of demilitarization of both countries on both sides of the border, and that this agreement will be important for sort of pushing a more lasting peace forward.
Now, you mentioned trade as well. Now, the region's been hit hard by Trump's trade tariffs this year. You've talked about the importance, I guess, of inter-ASEAN trade. We know Donald Trump's on his way to the summit, but is this an opportunity too for nations to negotiate new deals with him that go beyond, I guess, the region?
Yes, I mean, I think that there's definitely, I think it's first off, a very important opportunity for the region. As I mentioned, Southeast Asian countries have been hit hard by the tariffs, and there's a real opportunity and willingness, I think, to engage with Trump for some tariff relief. But also there are talks on the sidelines of ASEAN's formal meetings between US and Chinese diplomats about the trade war in China and the upcoming meeting that Xi and Trump have in South Korea.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, they're not going to be meeting at this summit because Xi is not going to be there, but Trump is meeting him most likely in South Korea later on this week. What do you make of their choice to speak directly then rather than part of the summit?
Yes, I think it's sort of more of a neutral space to talk directly on the sidelines of the summit. And right now, the trade war is quite hot, and I think it's unlikely that there will be any major deal given the current tensions, but we could see efforts to de-escalate the trade war being successful, putting the two countries on track for a trade deal in the future. We might see a pause on the rare earth export ban or the tariffs, but we will have to see.